Hello, listeners. Hi, my name is Madhavi, and I'm so happy to have you on UppTalk. You have come to the right place if you want to learn about IT and do really cool things with your hands. We are not just another IT company when I say UppTalk. Think of us as your learning partner dedicated to helping you reach your full potential. We have top notch hands on courses to help you build your business, whether you are new to technology or want to move up in your current job. Let's look around this as our first step towards learning.
Any administrator in the organization can able to grant the permission to the role that is employed to the employees or the manager. When granting the permission, administrator can limit the permission to a specific target group of user that we have seen in the target population. Again, in the permission group is divided into two parts. What are the two parts? Granted population and the target population, and the permission roles. Granted population and the target population. Granted population, who can do, who are the persons who are responsible for doing the changes that are coming under granted population, right? And to whom they are doing. They are the target population. In a company, if you are choosing a payroll manager, they will be responsible for executing the payroll for the entire group of employees. Those employees are coming under target population. This we have already understood in the last session. And what are the activities this granted population can do? They can view, they can edit, they can do the changes to the employee data. Right. These are the permissions which is being given to this granted population. Correct. And when they are given the permission for whom they are doing for the target population. This part is clear from our perspective. Now, permission role. What is a permission role actually? It defines a set of permission. A set of permissions means this is the set of permission. Means set of permission means it can be a view permission. It can be edit permission. You can view the history. You can delete it. These are some permissions which is being given to the granted population. Those are saying it is the same. It is saying that it defines a set of permission and grant these permissions to the permission group or role. We are defining a permission and we are defining and granting that to the granted population. Means we are giving access to particular group or particular person for a specific role like that. No. Yes, yes, yes. Suppose you are the recruitment person. You are the recruiter. You are, whenever you want to access the application in the system, you should have the access right. When you click on a tab, it should go into another screen, right? When you click on the tab, and if it is showing that a pop-up window comes and it shows that you do not have a necessary permission, please contact your administrator. Administrator means the permission is not given to you. But if you are going into another screen means you can access that particular function. That is being controlled by a permission role. Now you are the user, right? Every user will be mapped with a permission role. Permission roles are of various types. We have ESS. ESS stands for Employee Self-Service Right. ES is a permission role. When we are defining a permission role by name, ESS means in that ESS, what are the permission you are giving? You want to have a view permission or you want to have an edit permission. All these permissions you can able to give it to the ESS. That is, similarly, we also have MSS. MSS stands for Manager Self-Service Right. Hello, I am still audible. Yes. If manager, if you are setting a permission, setting a permission means what? You are creating a permission to the manager. When your designation is a manager, you will be linked with a permission role. If you are an employee, you will be linked with a permission role, that is ESS. Manager, it is called MS. Suppose you are from a HR person, HR admin. HR admin will be having a certain permission role again. That will be linked to your employee profile. These are various permission. Manager can be a permission, MSS can be permission role, ES can be permission role, HR admin can be a permission role, and each permission role they will set up the configuration that they can able to view, they can able to edit, they can able to see the history, they can able to modify. That is controlled from the permission. Now when you come into the RDP, if you remember, we have gone with introduction to mastery right. Introduction to mastery. I told you when we were discussing about provisioning, we need to enable certain functionalities from the provisioning right. Languages are there, profile V12 are there, and we also see in RDP, we need to enable RDP. Whatever activity which you are performing in the back end system, that will be reflecting in the front end system. Getting my point? Suppose if you are, I told you, a consultant, such a consultant, 80% of work, they are doing it from the front end system. 20% of activity is still there from the back end system. When you want to do that 80% from the front end system, you should have that features available in the front end system. Otherwise, how you will do? You cannot do right. These features we need to enable from the back end system. Then only we can able to access from the front end system. Similarly, coming into the RDP also. For RDP also, we need to enable these features from the back end system, that is from the provisioning. Then only it will be visible in the admin center. Now when I take you into the system, now when I go here into the admin center page, after going into the admin center page, you can see the tools here, tools section. Just click on, see all, I'm still on it in the tool section. When you scroll down, there is a section called Set User Permission. Can you see here, Set User Permission? This option is coming. Are you able to see Set User Permission? This section is coming because we have enabled the feature RDP from the provisioning. But when this section is showing, only if you are not a super admin for the person who is not a super admin for them, this section will be having this option only. Other option will not be showing them. In RDP, we have total 5 configuration tools. How many configuration tools we are having? When I go back into my Excel, the first configuration tool is this one, and managed permission tool. Then you have a managed permission rule. Third one is managed role-based permission. Fourth one I can take. Roles. Role search permission. Fifth one, I will take new user. Permission. Total 5 permission. If you are a super admin, mainly you will be having 5 permission tools. That is permission, group permission, role based permission, access role, search permission, new user permission. Now again, I will go back into my system. You can see permission, group permission rule and user role search. New user permission. It is user role search. User role search permission. Total 5 permissions will be there. Now you can see here managed role based permission. The first permission. What is the use of this permission? The use of this permission is that if you are a super admin and if you have added a new user in your team and if you have created a new user and now you want to give the RBP permission to that new user, how you will give the permission with the help of this tool. Manage role-based permission. Now you can see for me it is not accessible. This is not clickable, right? Although I am an admin, but I don't have the access. If I want to go to the SF admin and I will show you. I will go to the proxy now. I will go to the SF admin. Can you see I am taking this SF admin? In the real time also, you will be having some SF admin. If you don't have it, if you don't have a full access, some of your colleagues will be having that access. You can proxy it, you can check it. Now, after proxying to this fadmin, you can see I am into the proxy of sfadmin. Now, from the account of sfadmin, I will go to the admin center. I will go to the see all. And I will scroll down. Now you can see as a SF admin, I can see that access is there. Manage role-based permission access. Can you see here? For me, only this access was there. Permission goal. You use the permission and use the role. This access was not there. What is the benefit of this access? To show you the benefit of this access, what I will do, I will proxy to a user to whom I am hired newly. I hired a person newly. That is by name. I will proxy to this user and I will show you what is the current access for this user. I will go to the admin center and I will go to the tools. I will click on see all and I will scroll down to set user permission. Can you see here set user permission? It's not having any permission. Suppose he is a new person in our team and we want to grant him the equal permission. RBP is enabled from provisioning. That is the reason this is visible, but tools are not visible. Right. I will give the permission. I will again proxy to the super admin. if you have an access to the super admin, if you're already a super admin from your place also, you can able to give. I will go to super admin. And I will go to the admin center. Access super admin. That is the reason I shown you the comparison by proxy. Now I am proxying to admin. And I will go to the admin center. Every time it is not required to go to the admin center first of all. Because that also I just want to show you, either you can go to admin center if you have the super admin access. You can go to manage role based. You can see it will come here. You can click on the role based permission access. Now when you go into the page, you can see the page include first name, last name. Allow access to this page. The one column is their role-based permission admin. Now I want to give the permission to give the access to that particular new user. I will click on Add User. You can see it is showing here. I will click on this and grant the permission. Now, when I will go to the maximum page, you can see permission successfully granted. When I scroll down AD10 view, access is being given. I am not giving the access to this page. I have given this permission. How I will go and check that I will proxy. Earlier when I have proxied, then he was not having the access to the tool. Now again, I will go to the admin center. And again, I will go to the tools here. And I will scroll down. Now you can see it. Reflect. You can see all tools are reflecting. Excluding that access tool because we have not picked that checkbox. In this way, in a real time, if you are an admin and if a new member joins to you, or if customer says that give the permissions to this new user, what is the admin permit? RBP permission that he can able to access the RBP. In this way, you need to add that user code. In case in the admin center, if while proxying to that user, if these all things are showing as a blank, nothing is there. Then how to add? In this way we can able to add it. Any questions here? No. Now what I will do? I will again go to the SF admin and I will remove it. Whatever setup you are doing, don't keep it like that. Because you are doing some checking and you are testing it. Right. After you are showing that testing is successful, just try to remove it. I went again here. Manage role-based. Permission access. And there last you have a delete icon. Is there right? Don't delete any other. You should be sure about it. Because you don't have any save option. When you are creating it by default, it will be get saved. That is done from our end. This is the importance of this tool. Manage role-based permission access. Giving the positions to in the RBP when the user can able to view all the 5 configuration tools. Permission. Group role, this one, and user role a search and view user permission. Any questions here? No. Before going. Now, if you are implementation consultant, then you will be. The process is you have to create a permission group. Then you have to set up the permission. Before creating a permission group, I will show you what is the permission role and how we are setting up the permission. Then we will go and see the permission. For that, when you go into the Admin Center under Set User Permission, you can see these options are showing right. And you have given the permission. Correct. Once you click on the Permission Role tab in the Configuration tool, when I go back here into the Admin Center, into the tools here, now you can see permission, this one. When I click on this, it will take me to a page where you can see permission, role description, status, RDP created, last modified. All these details will be there. If you are implementation consultant, you have to click on the create new and you will be setting up the permission roles. As I told you, permission roles are of various types. Anything, you can see various type of permission roles. Permission roles can be of ESS, that is employee self-service. You can see when I go to ESS, you can see ESS also will be there. You can see it manager employee self-service. You can see employee self-service. You can see employee self-service. Sometimes they will elaborate in employee self-service or ESS. Similarly, if you can see, manager also will be there. You can see MS. Similarly, ESS and apart from ESS MSS, you can also see HR admin will be also there. You can see HR admin. HR admin for contingent workplace, ALA. This R admin also. HR admin also can be of country specific also. Country specific means what if I take France, there will be one HR admin. If I will take Australia, there will be one HR admin. If I will take, let's take something as a Germany HR admin. Permission roles can be divided on the basis of country specific also. When you go into a project and when you see that customer system, if you are into the support, you can see if the implementation is already done. If the RBP is set, you can see what are the permissions roles they have created. You can able to understand that permission roles they have defined on the basis of country specific also, module specific also, and role specific also. Role specific means what HR admin is a role. You can have a role which is specific to the payroll. Payroll also will be a role. Performance manager. And performance means what that is related to the performance appraisal. That is also a role. Right. Right. Apart from that, you have a compensation. Compensation is also a role. Right. Override. Depends upon the role. That is one thing. Depends upon the module. Module means employee central. There will be separate permission, easy permission. Onboarding will be a separate permission. Correct. Compensation learning management system. Payroll. These are certain functions and certain module. Specific permissions will be there. And also you can see country specific also. 4 to 5 countries are there. Every country will be having separate permissions. That is controlled and maintained from the permission role. When you go and see from the managed permission role, when you have landed into this page, you can see a lot of permissions are there as a support consultant. As an implementation consultant, you will be responsible for setting up all these permissions. How you will know what are the permissions you need to set up? You will get the information by gathering the requirement from the customer. When you gather the requirement from the customer during the initial phase of the implementation, you will be capturing that requirement in the workbook. What all permissions should be there, what all groups should be created. In the permission role, what are the things which we need to give that will be specified by the customer. According to that, we will be capturing initially. We are not configuring. Coming into this one, what you call permission role, which we are discussing. We can say that permission roles are configured either on the basis of the role or on the basis of the module specific or on the basis of the country specific. Right. Got. In the permission roles, when you go into the admin center and from the admin center, as we have seen how to give the access. Initially with the help of manage role based permission access. You are adding a user. Once you have added the user, that user can have these configuration tools. All the configuration tools in the admin center. From the admin center, when he will click on the permission role, it will take him into this page. And once it is taken into this page, you can see there are already certain permission roles which is already defined. That only I was just trying to elaborate. What are the type of permission roles you can able to see? Permission roles can be on the basis of role specific also. Can be on the basis of module specific also. Can be on the basis of the country specific also. It can be defined as a support consultant. If you are entering into the client system, you can see various permission roles. If you are implementation consultant, you will be gathering the requirement and that requirement will be captured in the workbook and then you will be doing the config, setting up the configuration. Is it clear? I'm pausing for the while. Any reflections? Notes. Now going back into my Excel. I have not taken you into the system, but before taking into the system, when you go into the manage permission row, you can see various permission roles are there. Now, when you go and click on any permission role here, then it will take you into the permission setting. When you click on any permission role, it will take you to the permission setting. And in the permission setting, we have a tab called Permissions. we have a tab called Permissions. This tab, which is there under the permission setting, when you click on this tab, it will take us to a page where that page you can able to see it has user permission and administrative permission. I will take you into the system. I'm taking something as a system admin or a super admin. I'm taking as a system admin. As a permission role, if I'm clicking on the system admin, it will take you into a page. Under the permission role is detail, and that is divided into 3 parts: name and description. You have a permission setting and it's still in the process right now. You can see permission role details, name and description, permission setting. And then the third one is you can see when you're setting up there and this role. Permission role is divided into 3 parts. Under this, you can see one is name and description when you're going there. Then you have a permission setting, and then the third one is granting this role. Granting this role. These are the 3 sections under permission role. This is something which is already been configured. When you open a permission role, when you go into the permission setting which I told you, under the permission setting, you have permission tab. When you go under the permission setting, you have a permission tab when you click on here. It will take you into a pop-up window where it is divided into 2 parts: user permission and admin administrative permission. Same thing. I'm showing you user permission and administrative permission. Under user permission, administrative permission, we have certain certain categories are there, and these categories are divided on the basis of module specific. There are various categories: calibration, time management, performance management, goal management, compensation, onboarding. A lot of categories are there. These categories we can able to find under user permission and administrative permission. What is the difference between user permission and administrative permission? User permission is generally used to setting up the permission for the employees and for the managers. Administrative, it is more with the managers as well as with the admins. In both the sections, you will be finding the equal categories, that is user permission and the administrative permission. User permission, administrative permission. Both categories will be there. All the categories will be there. Module specific. Among those categories, there are some standard categories which we need to understand. We will be focusing on those standard categories. What are those standard categories? Those standard categories are divided into 3 parts: employee data, effective weighted entities, and employee view. These are some standard categories. What is the benefit? What is the use of this category? These categories will help us to control the permissions to the permissions in the employee profile. When you want to control the permissions to the employee data in the employee profile, we will be using these categories: employee data, effective data, and employee view. Any questions here? Is it clear? Yes, these are some. These are the standard categories. What is the meaning of a standard category? Standard, all other standard categories. But among that, the important categories, which is mainly used to control the permissions which is related to the employee data. That is the employee data, effective data, and employee category. Now coming into this category. Before going into this category, we need to understand the behavior of the portlet. I think you know about the portlet. We have discussed about the portlet also. Had we heard the name portlet section, subsection portlet in the employee profile. Right when you go into an employee profile, and let me take you into the employee profile by duplicating the screen. When I take you into the employee profile, how the designing of the employee profile. Employee profile is also known as a people profile. Sometimes these terms are commonly used, employee profile or the people profile. When you go into the employee profile, you can see this content which you are seeing. These are the sections. Personal employment compensation, payroll time benefit, talent profile, mainly up to here. This is the standard one. And every section will be having, you can see subsections. And every subsection will be connected with a portlet that you can see in the right side. And every portlet will be having some fields. Fields can be the standard, one can be the customer. Those fields is connected with a portlet. Portlet is connected with the subsection. Subsection is connected with a section. Now to understand further, there are certain behaviors of the portlet. Some portlet is divided into effective rated portlet. Some portlet is divided into non-effective rated portlet. What is an effective rated portlet and what is a non-effective rated portlet? When you say that, what are the portlets which are effective rated portlet? Effective rated portlets are the portlets which can maintain the historical data, which can maintain the history of the record. Those portlets are called effective rated portlets. Now, when you go into this personal information, you can see in the personal information, you can see the icon. You have edit icon also, and you have a history icon also. When you click on this history icon, you can see time to time whatever the changes which is being made in the personal info. That will be updated here. In this particular as a history, maintaining the history in this particular portlet. It specifies that this portlet is an effective dated portlet. Good. When you go and see, this is personal info. Again, if I go and take you something into address information, you can see address information. Also, you have the pencil icon and the clock icon. It means what time to time, whatever the changes which you are making in this changes of the employee record. You are making that particular portlet that will be maintained as a history. In that particular portlet, because that is the behavior of that portlet, that it is effective rated portlet. But when you come into a non-effective rated portlet, it will not maintain the history. When I will go into the contact information, you can see there is no history icon. If I click on here and if I choose a date and if I want to update it, you can see here if I am just writing something here, it is just overwriting, right? It is just overwritten. Similarly, when you go here in a biographic information, When you go into a biographic information, you can see it will just overwrite it. The portlets, when you go and see, certain portlets are there. Under every subsection, when you see, certain portlets are there. Under the compensation, also the portlet's behavior is divided into two parts. One is effective rated and one is a non-effective rated. Effective rated portlet will maintain the history of the records time to time, which is being changed in the employee profile. Non-effective rated portlets will not maintain the history of the record, whatever changes you are maintaining. It will override the previous record and it will get updated with the new record value, that is the non-effective rated portlet. When you come back into our Excel, when I told that it is a non-effective rated and effective rated portlet, coming into the categories which I told, that is employee data, effective rated and employee view. Whichever the category, whichever the portlets which are non-effective rated portlets, and that is coming under the employee data category. What is the employee data? Says it can manage to access to the non-effective rated portlets. We can grant the view and edit right. In the employee data, we can only maintain the view, access and the edit. For all the non-effective rated portlet fields. If you come to the Employee Central EC effective dated portlet, it manages to access to effective dated fields and other actions. We can give grant to the view history, edit, insert, correct and delete permissions. All these things can be controlled from the effective rated. Finally, these are the categories which is helping the portlet, which will help to control the permissions of the portlet. If I want to show you into the system, when I go into the personal info, and you can see this is effective rated. This has a history record. When you go here, you can see your edit option, delete option, and you have insert record, new record option. All these things, how it is coming. It is coming from the effective rated portlet. Non-effective rated portlet only will be having the view and edit right. If I want to show you into the system, in the here, when I click on permissions here, when you go to the user permission, you can see a lot of categories will be there. Time management, calibration, goal performance. All these categories will be there. Among that, the important category for controlling the permissions to the employee related fields are: one is Employee Central Effective Rated Entities, that is for maintaining the effective rated portlet. And then you have employee data. And third one is the employee view. Third one is the employee view. When I want to show you the non-effective rated portlet in employee data, when you go to the employee data, you can see here, it is only having the view permission or the edit permission. Even the employee data for this permission role, whatever is the permission role, I have taken as a system admin. For this system admin, if I take some permission, if I'm giving a permission to the view or to the edit, I can able to maintain for non-effective dated perm employee data. If it is an effective rated portlet, then I will do it from Employee Central Effective Rated Entities. When I go into Employee Central Affected Entities, you can see View Current View History, Edit, Insert, Correct, Delete. All this when you're giving a permission. that tab or that button will be start reflecting that particular permission role for that particular user that can be controlled from the ECF activity. Now you can see when you go here for the personal information, all the fields will be showing here. In case if you are creating any custom field also under this portlet. And if the field is not reflecting in the home page in the employee profile. What is the reason? Because we have not given the permission or the permission will not be granted. That is the reason that particular fields are not reflecting in the UI. This is the difference between employee central effective dated, that is for maintaining the history and everything, and employee data, that is only used to maintain the view permission and the edit permission. Any questions here? But coming to here into the setting up any permission roles to the effective, rated and non-effective. See effective rated, non-effective rated portlet. These are some functional terms. When we interact with the customer and customer gives some requirements, it changed request or something, they will never specify that is for it is effective or it is non-effective. They will specify for this particular section like for personal information or contact information or address information. They want to have some custom fields. And they will say that this field, whenever, time to time, we also need that we should have a history of this field to be maintained in that portlet. We should be clear that that portlet, whichever the customer is referring, that has a behavior of maintaining the history or not. First of all, second thing, when you're creating a custom field on a non-effective rated portlet, and there you only have the permission of a view and edit. Now, when you want to give some further permissions, that is not controlled from the RBP. For that, in the future classes, I will also take you to a concept called business rule, where some permissions, when we are not able to control from the RBP, it can be controlled for the help of a business rule. Here, when we go and see for the employee data and EC effective rated, we can see the comparison that EC effective rated, where you can maintain the history of the records, time to time and employee data. We cannot able to maintain the history. Either you can give a view permission, you can give a edit permission. It will just overwrite it. The third one is the employee view. This is also clear. The third one is the employee view. Coming to the employee view, it enables the view access to the people profile or to the employee profile. It will only give you the view access. View access means what when you go back into the system and when you go back into the employee profile. And in the employee profile, I told you these sections. If you want to control these sections, you only can control with the help of a view permission. How you can control this access for ES, for MSS, for HR attribute. For employee, you want, whenever the employee open his profile, you want the employee should only get the personal information, employment information. And the compensation but other tabs, it should not be reflecting in the profile. That can be controlled with the help of the permission category called employee view. In employee view, what it says, it enables the view access to the people profile or to the employee profile in the employee file. Here you can have a view permission only in the system. How you can able to go and see it? When you go back here and when you go here into the employee view, you can see Only view permissions are there. You can enable the view or you can able to disable it for that particular permission. Is it clear for the employee view also? Why I stressed more into this easy, effective data, employee data, and the employee view? Because mostly the permissions in the requirements comes which is related to the employee, related employee profile. Everything revolves around these categories when you are working in the RBP as a support consultant. If you are an implementation consultant, also you will be setting up all the requirements which is related to these categories and to the definitely to the other categories like related to the calibration time, performance management, goal management. That also will be there. Again coming back into my Excel. Further going down. Here when you have seen these categories, now when I want to set up a permission role, how I will go and set up a permission role by creating a name and description for the permission role. Clicking on the permission setting. Clicking on the permissions under the user permission depends upon what are the permissions you want to give to this permission role. You can see lot of categories are there when you want to do the testing for yourself. I would prefer that go and use the standard categories. That is easy. Effective data and employee data. When you go here into the easy effective data, you can see view current edit history. All these permissions are there. When you are setting up a permission for you while doing the testing, you only initially go and give the permission as a view current. Don't give the permission for the edit and history and the correct. Only give the permission to the view current. When you are giving a permission to the view current, what will happen when you open an employee profile? These options should not be there. And it should not be editable. It should be in the view mode. Only you have a view permission. That is what. Secondly, after setting up, similarly the same thing, you need to do it when you go and selecting for the employee data. When you go and select for the employee data here, also don't select this one. What you call edit option, only give the view option. And just try to save it. After saving it, when you click on done, the same thing will be reflecting here. Can you see here below it will be whatever the permissions which you are selecting, that permissions will be start populating here. So for each categories you can see this is a super admin. That is the reason all categories will be showing. When you are selecting initially for testing, you only give the view permission. You can see after giving the view permission, you scroll down for the third section. What is the third section here? Grant this role to. When you go here, grant this role to. This is the third section. Grant this role to specifies the granted population and the target population. Now when I click on the edit granting here. The other click add, I'm clicking on because it is already being created. Once you go into the click on add or existing one, it will take you into this page where you can say define whom you want to grant this role to. That we have specified as a granted population, right? This we have specified as a granted population, you see here. This one, first one. Whom do you want to grant this role? That specifies the granted population. When you want to grant this role to a group or to a particular role, either you can specify to a permission group or to the standard role. These are the standard roles. Manager, matrix manager, HR manager, all these are the standard roles. Here you can see they are specified as a permission group. Who all are the permission group? EC admin, payroll admin, and the super admin. These are the permission groups. When you click on here, you can search it. You can see it is already selected here. And those permission groups are already been selected here. These permission groups may be having some members. Those members, what you are doing. You are giving the permission. Grant to this one. That is the system admin. System admin role to whom you are granting to the EC admin, payroll admin, and the super admin. That is the reason we have selected as a permission group here. Now that is something as a granted population. Now who is the target population here? Specify the target population whom the above granted user has been permissioned to access. Target population will be whom either. It will be to everyone. Everyone means it is not specific to a particular region or location. Whoever are the members in this particular group, EC admin, payroll admin, super admin, they are the granted populations. Means they are the users who will be accessing and doing certain activities. And these granted population, whoever users are there in this group, they have the permission which has been given to them. And they can able to either access to every employee, all employee of the organization, or you can able to specify the target employee. Target employee. When you select your target user, you can see it will be for the either you can specify for a particular department, division, or location. That can be possible. For example, this payroll admin, it is dedicatedly for a location that is suppose something for Germany location or something for France location. Whoever employees are working in that region, their payroll related activity, they can able to access those employees' profile. If you are specifying something to a target population or something on the basis of the department, division, location, then you can. If you're selecting something as a everyone, means irrespective of any location or any department, these users from this group who has been nominated for even the permission role can able to access for all employees. The second section, it is called as a target population. First section, it is called as a granted population. Third section, we don't have any important, we are not doing anything. And then we click on done. You can see that particular group will be linked with that permission. You can see these are the permission groups. Permission groups can be on a basis of a single user, also can be basis of a multiple users. And you can see each permission role. Now, when you go here, what is the name of this permission role? System admin. When you are defining system admin permission, each permission role will be linked with multiple. You can see it will be linked with multiple permission groups. There is no vertical, there is no restriction from the SAP that one permission role can be linked to one permission. Many permission groups. And one permission group can be linked with many permission roles. This is something like an implementation team used to do once gather the requirements. The process is something like that. You have to initially create a permission group. Then only you will come and create a permission role. For the training purpose, I have shown you in a reverse way. I have shown you because I want to show you the categories. That is the reason I have shown you how the permission role is there. While going into the Manage Permission role, you will be finding all the roles. In that, Super Admin and System Admin also will be a role. And when you click on the Permission tab, you can find these two sections are there. Just user permission, admin permission with various categories. And each among the category we have importantly is ET effective data and employee data and employee view, where you can control the permission for the effective data and non-effective data. For the testing purpose, whenever you are going for testing in the permission role, when you are when you're creating a role, only give the view permissions. After giving the view permission, when you click on done, that will be reflecting here. And when you scroll down, you have to create a grant this role. Grant this role means you have to click on add. When you click on add here, you can see here a new option will come. If you already created a group, you can select the group name by going and clicking on here. And you can see whatever the groups are there. You can able to search that group from here also. When you click on here, that group will be added here. And each group definitely will be having some members. You have one more option here. Allow the managers to have the same permission. Allow their manager means what? The users who are in this group, their manager should also have the same permission, access what this user is having. If that is the case, you have to click on here and you have options here. One level up, second, one level up like that, two level up. This is something like manager when you're selecting the levels. If that is also a scenario which is coming from the customer side, then you can choose this option. Otherwise, to make it simple, select the permission group, or if it is related to only for the manager, you can select the manager. Because here manager is not defined on the basis of HR manager, finance manager, or compensation manager. Manager is a manager in an organization. Any manager, when you're giving a permission, means that manager will be having that. Whatever permissions which are created, that is linked with the manager, or else you're creating a permission group. Now and after that, selecting the target population. This is granted population. This is the target population. Everyone means what if your customer has business in 4 countries and this is an HR admin who is sitting in the puppet office. This person will be having the access to all 4 countries. Users means you will select the target population as an everyone. But if you're selecting something for the target population specific to a location, department or division, then you have an option here. When you can able to go and select the target population and you can select from the list here. What it means, whoever the members are in this group, they are only responsible to access the employees who are from this particular categories. That is a difference between everyone and the target population. These two things, once it is being done, once you click on here, it will be reflecting here, and then you can able to click on the Save Changes. In this way, you are setting up the permission group. Any questions here? We have seen how to set up a permission group. Mainly now, we will go and see how to set up a permission group. Either you can go from the Admin Center or else you can go from here, Manage Permission Group. You can see Manage Permission Group, and if you click on here, again in the Manage Permission Group, you can see the page ID, group name, user type, static, dynamic. All the things will be showing here. If you want to go and create a permission group is divided. Creation of permission group is divided into two parts. One is static and one is dynamic. Static is something if you are going and creating something by importing CSV file. Setting up a permission with the help of a CSV file, that is import static group. That is something like a static. Dynamic is something you are creating it manually. Manually means here you are clicking on create new and here you will be going and adding the member. When you click on the create new option here, you will find two tabs are there. One is definition. One is granted. When you go into the definition, under that you have a group name and you have an employee and you have a people. In the people pool, you can see certain categories are there. When you want to go and create a group here, you will be creating a name of the group and you will be selecting the category to have a more clarity on it. Let's again take here as a system admin. Let me search here. Here you have a super admin. When you click on the super admin, you can see the group name is their people pool. You have certain categories, username, user location. With the help of these categories, you are filtering that employee and you are adding that employee into this particular group. Now you can see here how many categories, how many employees are there. These employees have been taken on the basis of the category, that is username. When you will select, you can able to take either on the username or on the basis of the user. All these options are available here. That is under the people poll. Again, you have another screen, another section that is known as exclude these people from the group. Excluding these people from the group means already you created some member and among that member, if you want to exclude some member who is basically from that location or a particular job role or something, if that is the case, then you will use the second section and in %, we will be more focusing on the first section, that is this one to the group, member from the people pool. Whatever members you are choosing, you can see here. You can click on update. It will be updating and it will be get updated here. When you click on this number, you can see here the first name, middle name, last name, job code, location. All these things will be start reflecting here and that will be showing under the active group numbers. And once it is being done, when you click on done, the group will be created and it will be showing as a dynamic because we have used this option as a dynamic. A static is something like you're importing a CSV file. And one more thing, if you're using static for creating a permission group and in the future, if you want to make any changes, you cannot able to go and make the changes manually from here. Again, you have to import the file with that changes created and maintain it in the CSV format. That is the difference between what you call dynamic and the static one when you go here in a real time. Also, you can able to go and see lot of permissions. Groups will be there, and after that same name you will have the permissions also will be there. For example, now this is about the permission group. Now, if you want to go and create a permission group, how will go and create? I can able to go and create something. Let me take now. Coming into the playpool category, I can directly go and search the username or the username or user, and I can able to select it. But if I just want to show you, and let's take an example as an Alex. And this is a new organizational information. And you can see a company, business community regions will be there. Let me check here. Now, what are the categories which is relevant? We have a division, right? When you select division, what is the division here? This one. I can copy it. I can see I can. Country is not mentioned. Again, you have a job code and job level. Something. Do you have anything? Let's. Department is there. Let me go and see the department here. Here, I already added it. If I want to add another category and the showing you, I can directly type the name of the user. But if you how you can able to go in, some selecting the department. What is the number of the department and select here. Copy and we can select here, paste it. You can see the leadership team department will be there. Select it and let me see. How many members are showing? 4 members are there. Good. How you are able to show this? I'm just breaking the people pool into multiple categories that I can show you how you can able to filter. Otherwise, I can directly take the name of the user and I can able to select it. Now rest, I don't have to do anything. I'm not going to exclude the people from the category, and I'm just taking one done. Once it is being done, you can see the group name will be showing here and who are the members in that group that we will show you. Now coming into the permission role. When I want to go into the permission role, the permission group is being created. I'm just taking one chance. Now I'm going to select the person. Similarly here also you can click on Create Me. I'm going to specify the same name here also and select the permissions under the permission setting. And I'm under the user permission. For tested, I can able to take employee central effective rated and I'm only taking the view permission. And in the employee data also. I'm only taking the view permission. And in employee, I'm not using anything and I can click on done. Now you can see here only the view permissions are there. First you give the view permission. After giving the view permissions, you can click on grant this role to. That is the second step. By clicking on add here, you have a permission group. What is the name of the permission group? Select the permission group. What is the name of the permission group? Leadership permission, click on this. You can see this is the permission. This will be permission group which will be reflecting here. And then you can click on here. And then you are clicking on done. You are getting linking that, granting that permission and your whom you want to grant this role. You are granting the permission to the permission group. And this permission group, how many members were there? 4 members were there. The 4 members only having the, we are giving what permission? We are giving the view permission, only we are giving, right? All 4 members only having the view permission for whom you want to have it. You want to have a specific target population here for a particular location, that is. Otherwise, if you are clicking on everyone means in this system. How many employees are there? If you take any of the employee, for them all employees, then you go and see in the employee profile, it will be only in the view. If that is the scenario, then you can take everyone and click on done. When you are clicking on done here, you can see your group will be added. Further, If you want to add another group, you can click on Add Another Group. It will be showing here. Same thing. One permission role. What is the permission role? This is the permission role. This is the permission role. This permission role will be linked with this. These are the permission categories, which you can able to go and see here. Below you can see it. These are the categories which will be. These are the groups which you are going and creating. It is still jumping here. These are the groups. Like that, you can create multiple groups. And after this, you have a save option here. You can click on the save. Now, once you have clicked on the save, you can see your permission role will be also reflected. Now, whenever you want to go into the permission group, and when you click on the permission group here, which you have created, now you want to see how many roles has been associated with this group. You can see the role will be reflected. First of all, you are creating the permission group. After creating the group on various criteria, after creating the group, how many members are there in that group? That members you are giving the permission role. With the help of manage permission role, you are creating the role means your set of permission role is being created and you are granting that role to a granted population. And you are setting up the target population for that. In this way, you are summarizing the permission role. In this way, you can see for this permission role what permission we have given, only new permission we have given, and that new permission who can able to access it. The members, these 4 members, I would request when you will try to explore it, don't use the dummy data, because this when you are using the dummy data, these users is already being connected with other permission roles, although you are giving a new permission. When you go and proxy any of these user, and when you go and open a profile, there you can find the edit and the history while testing. For when a permission group, when any of your member, when you are proxying, and when you open an employee profile, like this, for view permission, these options will not be showing because you are not given any edit option. It will be restricting you. These icons will not be reflecting here. But when you are going right now by taking a dummy data, that is this Alex and all these other users. For them, they may be also connected with other permission role. As I told you, one permission role can be linked with multiple groups. This person can also be connected with other permission role. Because of that, what will happen? When you proxy this user and employee profile, he will still have the edit or history icon, but we have not given it. But it may be a possibility that due to the other permission role, that impact will be still reflecting in the employee profile. That is the reason he is having that icon. To have a better accuracy, what I would suggest, just create your own data and only give the permissions in your permission group and check while toxic to that user which you have created. It will show in the system. Any questions here from your end? This is the process which I am trying to explain. After creating the permission group and after creating the permission role, how you want to do the testing. Am I still audible? I am. This is a common thing, like we are setting up a permission. But how to check that the permission is working successfully or not? Suppose now I have used this one. I am using this, Alex is there, or I am taking Rebecca. What I will do? I will just proxy to it. I am proxying to this account. I created a proxy right. Sorry, I created a permission. But this user can be possible will be connected with other permission roles when I switch to this user's account. Whatever permission I have given to him, and after that, when I want to open any other user. To check the employee profile, and he may be still having the access of edit. You can see edit options will be there. Why it is there? Because this user, who is this user? Rebecca Watts. This user will be also maybe linked with the other permission rules. There cannot be a single permission rule, right? There can be multiple permission rules. When you see here, you have various permission rules. And you can also see here, we have permission groups also. It may be possible that she may be a manager. And she may be linked with other permission groups and other permission roles. That is the reason when I am proxying to this user and opening an employee profile also, the user is able to get the edit and history. But I have not given. I have only given the view permission. But some other permission is overlapping. To avoid that, what I would suggest, rather taking any existing user, try to create your own user and then do the testing, giving the permission partially. First, you give the permissions in the permission role as view permissions. I am into the proxy. That may be the reason it is not accessing. What I would suggest is that first of all, give the in the permission role, just give the permissions to the new permissions and just do the testing. After the view permission is working successfully, then go and give the permissions. However, I have given here in the employee central effective data, I have only given the view permission. This is the system I have been solving. Let me cancel it. Hope you have understood the concept here. What I want to explain to you, when you go here, when you create a permission role, you are only giving the view permission. You can see here, you are only giving the view permission. Logically, when you are giving a view permission, the user should only access. When your user will open an employee profile, you should only have a view permission. No edit, no history item. If that is working successfully, then go and give the edit permission. Like that, partially you can able to activate and go and check it. In this way, you can do the testing for your RGB. Am I clear? Any questions here? If you are a support consultant, you don't have to create any permission groups or roles. It is already being created. What are the requirements which will be coming for a support consultant? Time to time, they will come and say that some permission roles are there for particular groups. They want that. They wanted to give some edit permission or they want to give some view permission, and they will give you the name of the permission groups or the roles. And we have to mainly the permission role name. We need to give the permissions in the production before giving it. We have to do it in the test system and we have to check it if it is working successfully or not. These are some type of requirements commonly will be coming in the RGB. Other requirements in the RGB, we will be getting something which is more into the analyzing, some analyzing and investigation on some RB setup. For example, a manager will be a manager is there. A HR manager will be there from a particular country and another HR manager will be there from another country. Both HR manager will be having the same permission, but first HR manager can access all the employee data, but the second HR manager cannot able to access a particular section. It is showing a pop-up that please contact your administrator. That is the issue which comes and they will raise a support ticket and that ticket will come to us. How to check what is the permission which an employee is having and how to compare that permission. We have another configuration tools. How to analyze it and investigate it. That is the part of support ticket we used to get. Generally, where some managers or some HR admins or some employees are there where they cannot able to access some functionality. What is the reason? We need to investigate it and we need to inform to the customer that this is the current setup. That is the reason this user is unable to access it. Then we need to ask them, do we need to give the permissions or not? How to find it, that we will cover up in the next session. That is related to the another configuration tool. But today we have covered it. The permission groups, permission roles, and prior to that we have managed role-based permission. Is it clear up to? These are the 3 topics which we have covered in the RBP today. Yes, please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@therightuptalk.com.